When legendary UK rock guitarist Jeff Beck passed away on January 10, 2023, it closed the book on a more than 60-plus year career in music. His instrumental chops were an inspiration to many Inland Empire musicians who were aspiring guitar gods. In 1964, UK band the Yardbirds were made up of Left to Right, Jim McCarty drums, Chris Drea rhythm guitar, Paul Samuel Smith bass, Keith Ralph lead vocals and harmonica, and Eric Clapton lead guitar. By 1965, Clapton had left the band wanting to pursue a more blues-oriented direction. He considered the Yardbirds to be nothing more than a pop group. Studio session guitarist Jimmy Page was first offered Eric Clapton's vacated position, but he declined because the money he was making in studio work was too good. Instead, he recommended his boyhood friend Jeff Beck to take the lead guitar spot. Jeff Beck was more than happy to join a band that was already established in the music industry. The Yardbirds are pictured here on a 1966 cover of San Bernardino radio station KFXM's Tiger Mag. Beck is seen on the left. On October 20th, 1966, the Yardbirds staged a press conference in Los Angeles to kick off the latest leg of their 1966 U.S. tour. Representing the IE at the event were KFXM DJs Jim Conniff and Al Anthony, who posed for a photo with the band. However, not seen in the press conference photo was new member Jimmy Page. Also not seen in the photo was lead guitarist Jeff Beck. Page joined the Yardbirds in June 1966 when bassist Paul Samuel Smith quit the band. It wasn't long before Page and Drea switched instruments from bass to guitar and vice versa. As potent as this lineup was, it lasted barely 5 months. By November 1966, Jeff Beck had been fired from the band for missing gigs during the earlier leg of that year's American tour. Before the firing of Beck, he and Page played double lead guitar on the incendiary single Happenings 10 Years Time Ago. By the end of 1966, the tune was one of their most popular releases in the Inland Empire. It was the number one single in the IE on KFXM's December 9, 1966, Radio 59 Fabulous 40 chart. On the December 10, 1966 San Bernardino radio station KMEN's K-Mendes 10 chart, the song peaked at number 2. It was kept out of the number 1 spot by the single Who Killed the Ice Cream Man by Inland Empire group The Bush. Even though Jeff Beck was no longer a Yardbird, he was so highly regarded that on December 10, 1966, he was featured in KMEN's weekly music publication as the K-Entertainer of the Week. The Yardbirds never played the IE while Jeff Beck was a member. When Beck was fired from the band in the fall of 1966, Jimmy Page took over sole lead guitar duties and the band carried on as a quartet. It was this configuration of the band that played Riverside's Purple Haze Club in June 1968. Their opening act was KFXM disc jockey Don McCoy, who performed his magic act. After Jeff Beck departed from the Yardbirds, he recorded 3 solo singles, Hi-Ho Silver Lining, Tallyman, and Love is Blue. The 3 releases were fairly successful in the UK, but not so much in the USA. In 1967, Jeff Beck formed the Jeff Beck Group. In the band were Ronnie Wood on bass, Rod Stewart on vocals, session musician Nicky Hopkins on keyboards, and a succession of drummers, including Ainsley Dunbar, Mickey Waller, and Tony Newman. It was the Jeff Beck Group that was scheduled to headline the Palm Springs Pop Festival on April 1st, 1969. It was staged at the Palm Springs Drive-In Theater. This was to be Jeff Beck's first scheduled appearance in the Inland Empire. The lineup for the show in this poster included Jeff Beck, John Mayall, the Paul Butterfield Blues Band, Lee Michaels, Moby Grape, and Inland Empire band Hard Luck Boy. Tickets were $4 in advance, $4.50 at the door. Advertised as Master of Ceremonies was KMET Los Angeles underground FM radio DJ B. Mitchell Reed. A crowd of some 5,000 music fans packed the outdoor venue. The list of performers was constantly in flux. This story appearing in the March 28, 1969 KFXM Tiger Mag added Canned Heat, the Buddy Miles Express, and the Savoy Brown Blues Band to the lineup. Other sources reported that bands playing included Procol Harum, the Steve Miller Band, Ike and Tina Turner, Eric Burdon and the Animals, and the Flying Burrito Brothers. However, according to reports, the Jeff Beck Group didn't make it to the Palm Springs Pop Festival stage. One concert attendee posted on the ProcolHarum.com website about his experience at the concert. He wrote, "And to top it off, it was announced after Butterfield's set that the headliners, the Jeff Beck Group, wasn't going to play. Seems Jeff and a then unknown Rod Stewart had got into a knockdown drag-out back at the hotel, and the group was breaking up. Sheesh." And so, even though the facts are still a bit hazy, it's not likely that the Jeff Beck Group actually appeared at the Palm Springs Pop Festival. In Part 2, the Jeff Beck Group is signed to perform at the Woodstock Music Festival, but once again, fate intervenes.
Blood Moon, filthy capitalist self-promotion.
I'm used to this part.
Yeah.
For every one of your shows.
Going live in 10 minutes.
Hello, John. And I'm so glad that we got to get together to help promote your album, because it's so it does all the things you do well, even a little better.
Yeah, I think, how old were we when we met and started making music together? I think I was 20.
Yeah.
And that's a very long time ago. Started learning from each other and from Bob Jarvistad and other friends of ours right from the get-go, and creating who we are as artists. And they have all these influences, but we kind of started writing our own page pretty early on.
Oh yeah.
And I'm very proud of that fact. I go back and listen to those songs that we wrote together all the way through to now. And on this record, there is a Chris LeRoy song and a Johnny and Chris song, and the rest are Johnny songs. And so here we are. The longest song on the album.
Number 10, Monster.
Number 10, Monster. Monster was birthed from a demo. Well, it was beyond a demo. It was basically a complete song. Sometimes it's a matter of like, no, it's a complete structure, and it just needs the right sounds, or it needs one more lyric line or something. and we complete each other's songs that way. And it's a real joy to do with Chris and I, as with Mr. Lowry and I. Sometimes we complete a blueprint that was set down by the other guy. And in this case, it was one of several songs of Chris's that I'd heard that I kind of went, huh, I can see the monster in my soul, which was powerful right there. And somewhere in Chris's chord structure, which I added to and changed and morphed throughout my version of the song, but it was just, I heard, into my mind, I heard a guitar epic in the middle of that, along the lines of Harvest Queen and these other songs, or another song about the rain, these songs we've written together, which become a canvas for my guitar playing. And there weren't, there are guitar solos all through Blood Moon. I kind of heard the possibilities of it becoming one of our guitar epic co-writes. And Cracker has those songs. They say Cajetan, were these songs where David's got an initial idea and I just launch it into outer space into this big guitar thing. And I'm kind of known, thank you people, as a guitar player. I've heard I've been an influential guitar player, which leads me to all the guitar players who have influenced me, who I bring full circle into these songs. Peter Green was the influence of the guitar parts on Harvest Queen, which
Absolutely.
Peter Green era, Fleetwood Mac, and these guitar players that are Jimi Hendrix, or I have these teachers who have led me, Jeff Beck, who have led me down these paths. And then we get to Monster, and my initial version of the song was yet again like 8 minutes long or something, so I had to pare it down. And I had Carlton Owens and Brian Howard. I sent my rough draft of the song to those guys to see where they would take it, as Cracker's very, very powerful rhythm section. And they took it to a very heavy but very dynamic place musically. And I kind of went with their lead on that. And I took it even farther, where on the record, the song starts in a very delicate, I'm playing two acoustic guitars with different tunings to get this. I wanted to get this sort of mid-period Stones, Keith Richards thing of the guitar, like the beginning of like Wild Horses, or one of these songs that at their core is an acoustic guitar song.
Yeah.
But, and the picking and very lacy and very pretty. But I wanted to take Monster, start that way, and then it starts that way and it goes to a verse, and then bam, for some reason, Brian and Carlton decided that this is where the foot is planted. Boom, boom, and then they bring it to rock. It's like Layla, or one of these songs that delicate side, and it gets gigantic, or Stairway to Heaven, or any number of Zeppelin songs, or songs that incorporate this beautiful, I call it the feminine side of a song, which gets very masculine, it gets very heavy at some point, but never loses its feminine side of the beauty, of the delicacy of the lyric and the song. So I wanted to create a song that would do this, as we've done with another song about the rain, or I've done with St. Cajetan, some of the Cracker songs, or One Fine Day, where it becomes a guitar epic. And and it's a very freeing thing, because I know at some point in the song I'm going to launch into guitar worlds. Mm-hmm. And so Monster became this song of many chapters. It's a long story that keeps turning back on that chorus, which is very, very powerful. Thank you, Chris. Trevor, our English friend, got it immediately. He called it, what does he call it? The guitar epic Monster finds Hickman rejoining with his songwriting partner, Chris LeRoy. And their songwriting partnership is what made Palm Hinge this great debut solo album with Lucky and with Harvest Queen. And he immediately got that there was a power in our songwriting.
Yeah.
Did you have a prayer for me to bring along the garden gate with me? Did
you really cry for me? When I look inside of me, I see, yeah, I can see the monster in my soul. Yeah, I can see the monster in my soul. There's no turning back now. It's out of all control.
And it gets to this huge place. I listen to it now and I go, wow, I really went out there, man.
Yeah, no, it is. It's such a powerful ending to a very powerful album. I mean, it has all these pathways, but they seem to be held together. As I shared with you earlier, says that in this song, it seems to kind of even pull the album forward, and it's like a nebula, exploding, this big giant thing. But
Good way
then
to
it
put
ends
it.
on some very simple, quiet chords that take you out.
Yeah.
Finishes the thought. And, like I wrote to you, 3 hours ago, maybe, I said, you should be very proud of Blood Moon because I am.
I think I got what I was going for here.
Yeah, it's too
Comes the morning on the highway. There's a low cloud drifting our way, and the hardest night together, and the hardest life that ever made it down. Wind blows across the wasteland. Like the song goes, we got fooled again, and the hardest times the time leave behind. And your heart knows. Comes the morning, every time. Comes the morning,
lot of it has to do with how he kind of put it together, how he put together the sequence, how the record kind of starts, it kind of ramps up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like kind of like what you're talking about. It's kind of got a flow to it in a weird way. And it does, like he said that too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm really liking this sequence. Tell me what you think. To me, when I listen to this, it's almost like it takes you, it's like you're being taken on a journey.
The Exterminating Angel, there's the film,
A Buñuel film, right?
well film. So was that a little bit like the dinner you couldn't leave?
Well, yeah, that's good. You know, that's funny because that was a couple of the song titles on the record were actually Immergluck suggestions. Completely removed. I forgot about that. Three Kings,
yeah,
and Exterminating Angel. Those were songs that he titled.
In the LA Times, there was someone who wrote about, she wrote about a couple pieces of art that kind of sustained her through the pandemic.
Yeah.
And she had talked about, there were some paintings that she was enamored of when she was young, but in this era, she kept going back and listened to 50 times, she said, at least, to John Coltrane's Love Supreme.
Supreme, yeah.
And she just, it is such a great meditation about how important that record was to her personally. And as you know, when I listen to this piece, some of the most useful music to me over this year.
Oh yeah,
that's
a huge compliment.
In that journey, there's a sense of calm and progress.
As we were finishing mixing this record, this would have been 2012, I started working on another solo record, and that's what's going to be coming out this year sometime. I mean, it's kind of like it's almost like a 180 from Imperial Garden.
Yeah.
And it's also an instrumental record. I wrote the entire thing on keyboards. Keyboards is pretty much everything I've been doing for a while now. There's a lot of harder stuff. It's almost reminiscent, more like the Monks of Doom, more rock, more hard rock. It's got real drums. Same Michael Jerome's also playing drums on it. In all honesty, I'm really just trying to grow, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to do I'm trying to just expand my horizons and just try as many different things as I can. After not putting anything out in, 13 years and putting it out, and you never know what's going to happen and stuff like that. And I just got so much love from people, and people seem to like it. I'm more determined now to continue with my solo stuff and just work on stuff and see where I can take things and try different things and see how it goes, bringing people along on my journey. I can't wait can't wait to get back out there and do it again when it's possible. You know, glad to be on your show. It's awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Greg.
Yeah, of course. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you hopefully in the near future in person.
Shape I'm in, I can't say I ain't pretty and my legs are thin. But don't ask me what I think of you, I might not get the answer that you want me to. Well, oh well. Now when I talked to God, I knew he'd understand. He said, stick me and I'll be your guiding hand. But don't ask me what I think of you, I might not get the answer that you want me to. Yeah. Oh, well. Dead rock and rollers, they were out of controllers.